Hey everybody, it's 2 Cents Tuesdays. You know what time it is. It's Dr. Jarrett here bringing you 2 Cents Tuesdays live every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, no matter what's going on. I'm in between trips. Just got back from Atlanta. Hopefully you guys have been following my feed and you've seen what's going on with a couple of things. I was in Atlanta last weekend. I spoke at the Momentum in Medicine conference and was able to grace the stage for a little bit. And you should have seen lots of bonus footage that I got for all of you guys from last week. We have great interviews, and if you haven't seen them yet, you have to check them out. Hey, how you doing, Asher? Hey, Mariana, how are you doing today? Everybody tuning in right now. But we had some great interviews with some really great national guests from last weekend and over the week, so you've got to check them out. We spoke with Dr. Sasha No, and that was an interview spawned directly from you, the viewers here. You guys wanted to know about medical cannabis and how it can be used for both your child's ADHD and maybe some other uses for medical cannabis. I got some great feedback on that one, and I know you guys really want to see a little bit more of that, so I may get Dr. Sasha No back on again to talk about medical cannabis for your child. And it's not well used in pediatrics yet, but it's something that you should definitely check out. So make sure you go there and check it all out. So, oh man, that was a great interview. I also had a great interview with Dr. Centrell Syke. She is an addiction specialist, and she let me really hear the trending topics going on in teen addiction. So you got to hear about teen addiction, you got to hear about addiction in general, and even what parents can do for help. So again, we had some great things going on. Thanks for the accolades, Asher. Hey Marisol, thanks for tuning in today. And we had another interview. It's Autism Awareness Month, and I did not do a 2 Cents Tuesdays episode on autism, and we had to talk about it. So we had nationally renowned developmental pediatrician Dr. Ebony Peds. Go check out her video. She talked about autism, signs and symptoms to look out for, therapies, treatments, you name it. We did a comprehensive show, and those were all bonus editions recently, so you have to get back there and check it out. Hey Jamila, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I did get a couple of awards when I was down in Atlanta last week, so that was pretty fun. But if you haven't seen all of those episodes, those were all bonus episodes, and actually they were all topics that you, the viewer, put out there for me. So again, if you guys ever have topics and want a 2 Cents Tuesdays episode on something, just message me, just chat, just send some information my way, make a comment, and we will get that episode on. As you know, we're in the second episode of 2 Cents Tuesdays, so it's all about you. So I told you I was going to bring some guests. I brought a bunch of guests right in. There'll be a bunch of guests to come back in with that, and you'll be ready to go. I mean, it's some really great stuff, and I'm glad that I was able to share it with you guys. And those videos are also warehoused on my YouTube channel. If you want to go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, and you'll get all the updated videos there as well, so you can have them and share them. So, boy, so much to talk about. I mean, all those extra videos. I'm going to keep you guys watching my channel all day today. But I'm Dr. Jarrett. I'm your board certified pediatrician and parental behavior coach, here to help those that are having difficulty taking care of their child or their child's behavior. And I do this through my upcoming book, as well as some online programs and my coaching program that I have. So all you have to do is share this video, share it with friends, because today we're going to be talking about guilt. You share this video around, you spread the message, and people will learn more information, because you know I'm here every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So you can find me on all social media at Dr. Jarrett. Spell out the word doctor, J-A, 2 R's, E, 1 T, and I'm here for you. So let's get to today's topic. While I was down in Atlanta, one of my good colleagues, Dr. Alicia Ellis Cox, she wrote a book entitled Ditch the Mommy Guilt. And I spoke some about guilt in my upcoming book, and maybe we'll talk about the book next week, because I know a lot of you guys have been asking, when's the next book coming out? You're already a #1 bestseller. When are you bringing out your next book? This next book is going to be just for you, and I'll make sure we talk about it next week, because it'll be available very, very soon, so why not talk about it? But in Dr. Alicia Ellis Cox book, it's called Ditch the Mommy Guilt. And parental guilt is something that is talked about and felt very, very often throughout. And a journalist from Fatherly actually contacted me earlier today and wanted to interview me based on parental guilt and mommy guilt. And when you look at the feelings of guilt within parenting and parenthood, it's one of those things that you know that when you're out there, particularly after maternity leave, or if the dads get a paternity leave, you go back to work and you're leaving that child behind, and you're leaving that child behind all the time. Let's face it, most of us are not independently wealthy. Most of us need to work for a living, and at least one parent, if not both parents, tend to have to go out. So you have to look at going to work, even if you don't like your job that much. Go to work as a means to taking care of your kids, and that's something that you have to do, and you have to do it every day in a lot of cases. So part of your parenting responsibilities are keeping food, shelter, and clothing over them. So work is a means to justify that. Now, of course, people feel guilty over going to work, especially if you're leaving the kids back at home, if you're missing them in the school play or missing an important event in their life. Perhaps you get late to a birthday party in some instances. There are a lot of things that can cause this guilt because, well, you're kind of going off to listen to your parents and make sure that your parents are going off to work, but then your children are left behind and you end up missing out on some of those events. That is actually normal, and it's one of those things that it's okay. You have to recognize the guilt that you feel and deal with it. How you doing, Javi? It's good for you to chime in today. As you know, I'm Dr. Jarrett, and it is Tuesday. Therefore, 2 Cents Tuesdays is going on right now, 1 o'clock Eastern. And today we're talking about parental guilt. And so when you're away at work, you're kind of focused on work, you're forgetting about the kids, and sometimes work is a break from your kids, and so you can embrace that as well, because we know that parenting is the biggest job you'll ever have. It's the toughest job you'll ever have, and it's something that you'll have to keep for a while. So make sure that you're trying to stay focused on what you have to do. So the guilt does come, and that's okay. Some people have excessive guilt. Some people just feel a little bit of guilt, but there's no doubt that parenting is the hardest job. So sometimes you can take a break from parenting by going to your job that pays better. You're right, Asher. Parenting is the hardest job. There's no doubt it's the hardest job. It's one of those things that it pushes you from every different angle, and you're never off from it. So there are a couple of things that you can do, especially if you're torn between your work life and your home life, and you're getting that work-life balance out of whack. You make sure that you are present when you are home with your kids. You are present when you're with them. You are present that you say, okay, well, you might even want to put some rules in the house that they're not checking emails, you're not checking your voicemails, you're not worried about work activities when you're in your at-home moment and your presence. So ideally that would happen around dinner times. Ideally that would happen around some times when you might have some family activities like family game night or bedtime when you may be reading to your child, and all of these things that can help you forge better relationships with your child, because from your child's point of view, they see everything about you, and particularly young children, school-age children, they know that you do have to work, but they also want your attention. So you have to get that balance, and if the only time they get to see you and you're stuck to your device, you're stuck to your emails, you're stuck on work calls, webinars, so on and so forth, well, that is not giving them the attention that they need. So you may need to establish rules in the house to say, look, we're going to have a no device rule between 6 and 7:30. That way you guys can fully enjoy each other. And that lessens the guilt that people tend to feel, because you really are making the most meaning out of that time that you do have with your kids. Therefore, it gets stronger relationships, and it can get better time and behavior, because they actually want to please you. Some negative behaviors come out in kids because they simply want to get your attention, and they don't care if it's good attention or bad attention. They want to get your attention in any way that they possibly can. So it's one of those things that you have to do, and you can do it right. So Paulette says, when done right, the most rewarding job too. Parenting is the most rewarding job, and Asher agrees. It's one of those things where it's out there, and you're taking care of your kids, and you love them to death, and it can be challenging at times. But stay in the present and stay focused. Every once in a while, you may need to take a little time for yourself. That is absolutely necessary as a parent to get yourself charged and keep yourself charged up for this heavy battle. You're going to want to make sure you're giving yourself some time to yourself, and that may just be time to exercise or take a walk, are great things to do, maybe to read a book. And you can do that if you can schedule that while the kids are away at school and you have some off time. But if not, and you can get a babysitter in there and get them to do that, then that's great too. So make sure you get some time for yourself. It's not going to be every day, may not even be every week, but you should be striving every 1 to 2 weeks, get an hour of time to yourself, because you need that too. And don't feel guilty about that either, because if your batteries are drained, then that's something that works. Asher says she gets her alone time by hiding in the closet. So whatever works is great. And so you want to make sure you're doing that in anything. It doesn't have to be anything. Just trying to take a moment of silence, because then if you're wearing yourself out in the job, you're wearing yourself out in parenting, then you're not good for anybody. So be aware of how you're feeling and the way things go, because it's just something you don't want to, you can't possibly deal with. Jamila adds in, maybe in the garage and car. Yeah, leftover Valentine's Day candy or Easter candy, that's also pretty good. It's something worthwhile to have. So these are all great suggestions, and sometimes they are built out of necessity, because you do, as a parent, deserve a break, and you don't need to feel guilt about that. That is the point of everything today. We are talking about parental guilt, and it's something that's felt both with moms and dads. And it was brought out because a reporter from Fatherly contacted me today and really wanted to talk about parental guilt, things to do around parental guilt, and ways to keep your children motivated in the meantime. So I thought it was a great topic for today. It wasn't on the original episode scheduled today, but sometimes topics just come up. And if you tuned in late, be sure to look at the last few days. I gave lots of 2 Cents Tuesdays bonus editions with Dr. Sasha No, a world-renowned cannabis expert, talking about cannabis in kids. Dr. Ebony Peeds, a developmental pediatrician, who we talked about autism in honor of Autism Awareness Month. And Dr. Centrell Syke, we talked about teen addiction and strategies and trends in teen addiction. So make sure you go back and check those out. They are housed on Dr. Jarrett's Facebook page or on my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe there. I have different content that I post over there as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have great comments. And Javi actually said that his kids are older now. Now they don't want to spend time with you. And you're absolutely right. They get into that teenage years, and sometimes they just want to go hang with their friends. They want to be away from people. They don't want to be bothered by stuff. And that, too, is another challenge, because then you find you have all this extra time on your hands while your kids are out running around that you never had before. So it's weird how parenting goes in these cycles, but they continue to repeat. And when we talk about my new upcoming book next week, we'll talk about some of the topics in it, just so you guys know what to expect, because it's out there and something great to have. Hey, how you doing, Andrea? Thanks for tuning in today. So for now, until next Tuesday, 1 p.m., and who knows, I do have to travel to Dallas tomorrow. So I am trying to line up some special guests. So make sure you're putting that alert on your Facebook so you know when I come on live, because I told you season 2 I'm going to be having lots of impromptu 2 Cents Tuesdays just for you, because I'm trying to get some of these nationally and internationally known experts out here, and that's what we're going to be doing. So until next time, make sure you set that alert. And Andrea, you're absolutely right. We need all the help we can get with our kids. They are our most vital and precious resource here on this planet. Our kids are our future. And with that, I'm Dr. Jarrett, your board certified pediatrician and parental behavior coach, here to help all parents who are having difficulty managing their children or their children's health get their children's behavior and health under better control. I'm doing this through my books, my coaching programs, my online programs, and all these things that I have coming. I'm so excited to bring to you guys in season 2 of 2 Cents Tuesdays. Make sure you share this video, share it with your friends, and continue to watch, because I'm bringing topics that you guys ask for this season on 2 Cents Tuesdays. This is Dr. Jarrett. Find me at Dr. Spell out Dr. J-A 2 R's E 1 T, Dr. Jarrett, on everything, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.